Hey, how's it going? And I wanted to show you the do once nature of a loop in verse, and I found this really interesting. I've just got a button and a verse device in here, and this just prints out strings. But if I come to the game and I go start, see, it recognizes me. The player name is OK Studios, that's right. So look, I come over here and I press this button. Now what's going to happen, it's going to print out 101, the value is 101, and then it's going to alternate between two values, but it's only going to print out 101 one time. So watch this. Hit E. The current score is 101, right? Now I hit E again. The current score is 404. The current score is 737. 404. 737. 404. 737. Printed out once the value 101. And then after that, it toggled between the other two scores, the 434 and the 737. Printing of the 101 happened just once, and it didn't happen again. So keep that in the back of your mind. So let's escape out of here. And let's take a look at this code here. It's really interesting. I'm using an event here, and I just kind of found this accidentally when I was playing around with this. So I've done tutorials about this before, but we're using an event. Essentially, this is almost like creating a custom event. So this is we're able to pass in data through this event. This kind of reminds me of almost like an event dispatcher in the Unreal Engine. So we create this event, a custom event, and then we have to call it. We can use this word here, this signal, to call that event. And when we call it, if we identify a payload, a data type, then we can call this event with the data. And then here, await, if we reference my event, await is awaiting. It's pausing everything, but it's waiting. It will accept in that value. It's passing through that value score, and then I can print out whatever I pass to it. So what happens here is when we initialize the variable up here, we give it the value of 101, right? So the first time every time I press a button, we subscribe to this function called send signal. So when we call it the first time, right, we call here, we reference my event, we use the signal, we're going to pass in the winning score value. The winning score value was identified up here as 101. So we call to our loop, right? And it's waiting, it's just sitting there waiting to be called. It gets the score value, which is 101, and then it prints it out, right? Now, what's happened is there's no break in this loop, but it is hitting this await, right? So it's looping, but then it hits this await, and it just pauses, right? So what happens when I press the button again and I call it, then we set the value to 404, and we make another call, right, with the winning score. And so we call the loop again, and now it's going to print out 404. And then it's kind of stuck here until it gets called again. We press the button again, now we call it with 737, right? So we call again, and it's stuck, and now it gets unstuck, and it prints the new value. But then when we call it again, right, and we're calling it here, through here, right? Because it's in the loop, it doesn't play this line of code again, it just loops on here. So instead of doing this again, it just does this. So when it's looping, the first time through it kind of hits everything, but the next time through, it just goes here, it just loops on this. So in a sense, it's kind of a sophisticated do once. I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what to make of it. I just thought it was really interesting. So anyway, that's all I had for today. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.